I took out all the ones that weren't
Oh,
applicable.
I did take two, I'm sorry.
I clipped it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Good afternoon. This is the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. Today is February 11th, 2016. Several items off the docket have been removed. Item 1, which was 501 South Central, that has been removed from the docket and will be will be amended by the applicant. Item 2, 1502 Clipper Road has also been removed for this docket, but will be rescheduled for a later docket. So our next item is Tiza Ephraim and Patrick Basari Jr., and that's MHF Baltimore Operations 5, LLC, Fairfield Inn and Suites. That's at 101 South President Street. It's a Class BHM, hotel, motel, beer, wine license, and application for transfer of ownership, live entertainment, and outdoor table service.
Counsel?
Thank you. Good afternoon,
Good
Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, Lee Ann Schreckengost with Royston, Muller, McLean, and Reed, here on behalf of the applicant.
Would you like to make a proffer?
I would, Mr. Chairman. As Ms. Bailey Hedgepeth indicated, we're here for a transfer. The ownership is not changing the operation is not changing at the Fairfield Inn and Suites. It's a change of ownership. The hotel remains with 152 rooms, seating for over 125 people at once. We are asking at this point for outdoor cafe license because the hotel has an indoor, totally enclosed courtyard, which is technically exposed to the sky, but nobody can access it but the hotel guests. So we are seeking that, as well as the live entertainment permission for the occasional wedding and private party. There's no set schedule for live entertainment. It would just only be offered during special events. With that being said, I would like to proffer that both of the applicants are fit and proper. Ms. Ephraim is here with us today. Mr. Budarazi had a scheduling conflict, but I will proffer to the board that he has held a liquor license here in Baltimore City before. He is in receipt of this board's new rules and regulations and is well aware of his responsibilities as a licensee, and he also meets the city residency requirements.
Is this, the outdoor portion, will that be on the Fallsway side or the other side?
It's actually smack dab in the middle of the restaurant, of the hotel. I don't know if you have a copy of the floor.
It's the one that has that little smart car there that parks in the front. Is that the one we're talking about?
That's exactly right.
Right, okay. So the outdoor table service would wrap around that corner? Is that what we're talking about? No.
No, actually, there's an interior courtyard. If you go into the lobby.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's and it's
behind that.
It's behind
I got,
that.
okay,
There's-
I know
yeah. Mm-hmm.
where it's at now. Okay. I'm with you.
Is it zoned properly? For outdoor entertainment?
Yes, there was no issues with zoning in regards to this. This was sent to them as part of the information, so they've already obtained that, so they're fine.
Is grandfathered into that location?
It would have been zoned previously.
Yeah, it would have been zoned when they built the hotel.
That's
They're
correct.
just transferring the
Yeah,
license.
there were a lot of zoning issues when that
Yeah,
hotel
the
was first
operation,
built.
Yeah.
What about the certificate program, alcohol awareness program for the new licensee?
You can, would you, please,
Well,
if
we're
you
gonna
need to have her
She's
sworn
gonna
in, or I can proffer if you prefer. Go ahead.
Yep,
Go ahead,
either way.
Proffer,
go ahead, swear her in.
You have to swear and,
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Could you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Tazita Ephraim, and my address is 15 Union Park, Boston, Massachusetts.
And Ms. Ephraim, you are actually one of the applicants for this license, correct?
That's correct.
Could you please tell the board what type of alcohol awareness training the employees will undergo at this hotel?
It's called TIPS training. That's what we have already 2 or 3 employees that already have been certified, and then we'll have 4 more managers that are going to be certified.
And what about applicant B?
I'm sorry, Mr. Budarazi, he's the
Patrick.
gentleman I just proffered about. He is a Baltimore City resident.
Right. No, has he undergone that training?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, Mr. Budarazi has not undergone the training. He will not be spending a significant amount of time on site.
who will be the manager of the day-to-day operation?
The general manager actually is just now starting, probably next week. Her name is Dawn McManus. And
She will get alcohol awareness?
Yes.
She's actually already certified. She currently is the general manager for a Holiday Inn at the BWI Airport and will be transferring up here. So she has prior experience and is already alcohol awareness trained.
And this other, it looks like applicant A currently holds a license in Anne Arundel County. Is that a class, which class is that
That's a Class H hotel license.
as well? Okay.
And that is actually the hotel that the manager for this restaurant, this hotel is coming from.
So is it a transfer? This is a transfer of ownership too?
Correct.
It will still stay under the same flag name?
Yes.
Strange. And what group is buying it?
The parent
Not
company.
private. It's not private.
The parent company is Magna Hospitality, and Magna owns and operates 25 hotels up and down the East Coast corridor.
Okay. So that's who Dawn McManus works for.
That is correct.
Okay. Have they ever had a violation in this location?
No, I'm looking at the license information is attached, but no, they've been in they were created in 2008 and opened in 2009, and there hasn't been any incidents since.
Okay.
What's the community association if there's one in that area?
There isn't one. It's in the Jonestown neighborhood, which does not have a community association. I did notify both the Downtown Partnership and the Waterfront Partnership, which technically doesn't cover either one of those, but I reached out to both Mr. Yeager and Ms. Lori Schwartz just to give them a heads up that this was going on, and neither one of them, they just said, thanks for the heads up, no comment, so.
There's enough bars down there anyway.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I have nothing
Yes.
further unless the board has any further questions.
In accordance with Article 2B, Section 10, 202A2, I think it's complied with the requirements, and having found that, I'm a yes.
I'm a yes.
I agree, and I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Enjoy. Have fun.
Thank you.
Sure, hey, Mr. Bob Miller said to tell you hello.
Thanks.
You have 100 for me? Okay, good. I'll tell you. Hold on one sec.
Thank you.
There we go.
Mr. Previs.
Okay, the next section is our violation section. The last two transfers have been also moved, so to Well Street, which is a new Class B that has been moved to a March date, and the application for Hammer Jacks at 1300 Russell Street has also been moved. The first item on our violations docket today is Sierra Dennison and Vincent Griffin, GM Holdings, trade name is Lust. This is at 408 Baltimore Street, an adult entertainment and a Class BD7, a violation of Rule 14 and preventing nuisances, and the second charge of 3.12 public welfare on November 21st, and a third charge in regards to the rules violation 3.03 also occurring on November 21st.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Previs on behalf of the licensees. They're not here yet. I spoke and texted with them this morning. Meet me here at 1. If I could do my other hearing and hold this matter until I can find out, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
No problemo.
We'll pass it.
Okay. So then, let me go to the second item, or would you like to go to the third item? We can go to the second item, which is, okay, second item. Erica Parr, 411 East LLC, trade name is Red Room, at 411 East Baltimore Street. This is an adult entertainment and a BD7 license, a violation of Rule 14, adult entertainment, preventing nuisance. This occurred on November 26, 2015. There's also a charge in regards to violation of 3.12, public welfare, on November 26, 2015. I can read into those violations into the record further if you'd like me to, sir.
No, he's not, or he's not a vice policeman. You with the vice squad?
No,
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 he's
sir.
a regular policeman. No, okay, we're okay.
We're okay.
To be a general denial. For the record, Melvin J. Kaninsky, 19 East Fayette Street.
Okay. Have the witnesses sworn in. General
Everybody,
denial.
yeah, raise your right hands, please.
Chris Miles, are you
Mr.
here?
Chris Amalis.
Chris Miles, are you in? Okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna hear from the policeman first.
Do you need a copy of your report? Are you okay?
I have a copy of my
Perfect.
report, but
I can give it to
really
you.
not
right now.
sure how to.
So, Officer Mew, we just need you to state to state the facts of the case and read a copy basically of your report. Provide us information on what happened on November 26, 2015, at Club Lust. I'm sorry, at Red Room. Excuse me, at the Red Room.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so on November 26, 2015,
Your name first, please.
I'm sorry. I'm Officer Daniel Moy, Baltimore City Police,
Spell that. Last.
MUI.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so on November 26, 2015, at 22:17 hours, I responded to 411.5 East Baltimore Street in reference to aggravated assault by cutting. Upon arrival, I observed the victim, later identified as Mr. Augustine Salome, laying in a pool of blood at the location. I spoke with multiple individuals, including 3 witnesses, who stated they witnessed Mr. Salome.
I'll check for the record as to what somebody said if they were summoned to the hearing.
Noted, overruled.
Who stated they witnessed Mr. Salome to have payment issues as a customer at the Red Room, the establishment located at the address 411.5 East Baltimore. Mr. Salome was approached by an employee, later identified as Mr. Javier Reyes, and was observed by the individuals to have a verbal dispute in a language unknown to them. At this time, a physical altercation broke out between Mr. Salome and Mr. Reyes, at which time Mr. Reyes was observed to have stabbed Mr. Salome with a folding knife in the back left shoulder, causing a deep wound. Mr. Reyes then left the scene of the incident. Medic responded to the location, stated the injuries were non-life-threatening, and transported the victim to University of Maryland. Central District Detective Jordan responded in reference and reviewed the cameras with this officer and confirmed the incident. Camera observation revealed Mr. Reyes to have tossed the knife to another individual, later identified as Mr. Benny Palmer, who threw the knife in a trash can at the establishment. Folding knife found in the trash can in reference and handled by Crime Tech Harvey, who responded. Further investigation reveals Mr. Reyes to own a black, cheap 4x4. Area canvass was conducted, and Mr. Reyes was found sitting in a vehicle in the outside parking lot at the unit block of Custom House. At this time, Mr. Reyes was read his rights and placed under arrest. Searches in the arrest found additional CDS. This officer has 40 hours of training in narcotics, numerous CDS arrests and violations. CDS was submitted in reference. Clothing was submitted by another officer, and Mr. Reyes was transported to central booking for further processing.
Now, question, officer. You said that, I think you testified that you observed the camera footage. It was you and another officer, correct?
Yes, sir. Myself and the detective.
Right, got it. Okay. Mr. Kaninsky, for us?
Yeah, officer, regarding, you came after the fact, and the gentleman who had the wound was outside? Is that?
Yes, sir.
So when you came, the gentleman who obviously was bleeding, was he sitting outside on the pavement? Where was he sitting there, if you remember?
He was laying on the pavement.
Right in front of the place, or was he down a little further?
He was basically right in front of the place.
Okay. And along with that, do you know, and time-wise, when you first got the call and when you first arrived? About?
The approximate time it took for me to arrive,
Yes.
5 minutes at most.
And then, but do you know exactly when you looked at the camera, when the incident occurred?
I
Before
don't.
that? You don't. And then subsequently thereafter, when you were there, did the personnel who were working there identify who the person was that did the act for you? Were they cooperative? That's what I'm asking.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were cooperative.
All right, and they also were cooperative where the knife was and so forth, is that correct?
They were only cooperative on where the knife was after the review of the camera.
Yeah, but the camera was their camera.
Yes, it was
Okay.
their camera.
Okay. And after that, you did not go with the individual who was stabbed to the hospital?
No, another officer followed.
And as far as the individual, you don't see him here today, do you, the victim?
No.
I don't know if he was, I asked that he be summoned, but I guess we'll use the rule if they don't show up, then whatever testimony be held against them, if they had any. Number two, how about the individual who was charged with the assault? He's not here either.
No.
Right. And we talked. Well, I'm not trying to, pull anything over on you, but you indicate the same thing, that he went to indictment and his case is going to come up in March
Yes.
in circuit court, so that hasn't come up. And since the date of the incident, you haven't seen or talked to the alleged victim since that date?
No.
Okay. And this was Thanksgiving night,
Yes.
okay? And along with that, how many people were in the, if you remember, were in the establishment?
I want to say 8 to 9.
Okay. And when the place continued to operate after you talked with all the witnesses, is that correct? The place didn't close.
No, we pretty much began shutting it down, getting customers out.
Okay. And after that particular date, had you been back to the establishment
Yes, I have
for
been.
this incident?
No, not for this incident.
Okay. And the fellow that was in the Jeep, he was found in a car in a parking lot, not at the establishment. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you said it's a custom house parking is behind the block. Is
Yes.
that correct? And did you go to the parking spot, or was another unit went there? and found it?
They responded first. I responded
Okay.
after.
And was he first floor, second floor? Do you remember where he was?
It's a one-story parking lot.
Okay, and he was there, and he didn't make any attempt to try to flee or anything?
No.
And you don't know how long after you got the original call that you found him in the parking lot? Was it a half hour, hour later?
It would be 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay, an hour. And that's when you arrested him, is that correct?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
I have, Officer, a couple questions in light of Mr. Kudensky's questions. You said that he asked you if the place was shut down, and you said you were clearing people out.
Yes, sir.
So when you were clearing people out, did you then shut the operation down?
Yes,
It
sir.
was shut down
Yes, sir.
for that evening?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Were there any, there was no drugs on the premises?
No.
It was in the car?
Yes.
Now, go ahead.
Did you search for drugs on the premises?
Yes, we looked around because we were looking for the knife at first.
Now, Mr. Kudensky asked you if you've been back to that establishment since then,
Yes, sir.
and you said yes,
Yes, sir.
and he said for this incident. Correct? I mean, that's
Correct.
what he said, right.
No, correct.
So you went back to this establishment, Mr. Kudensky, you opened the door. What was it for?
It was, we do routine business checks on the block for NG store.
Now, when you went to Mr. Reyes, did Mr. Reyes make any incriminating statements or confessions with regarding to the stabbing of the victim?
He did not.
Okay. All right.
But the video showed the stabbing
Yes, sir.
of Mr. Reyes stabbing the victim.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there another officer that wants to?
Well, just to be follow up
Yeah,
on,
no, go ahead.
so when you reviewed the video, was there you see an argument?
Yes, yes, sir.
And how many people were involved in the argument, if you can remember?
3, I believe.
And that argument went on for how long before the alleged stabbing? Do you remember?
I couldn't say.
Couldn't tell. All right. And then when you said you came back as a routine and checked records, everything was fine when you went back, the records were up to date. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The victim that got stabbed, was it an employee of the,
No, he was a customer.
a customer?
Well, we don't really know that.
He is an alleged
Well,
customer.
what was the argument about? Billing? Hey, you're
We believe it's about billing. We believe one of the he tried to pay, his friend actually tried to pay with a credit card. The credit card was declined. Tried another credit card. The second credit card was also declined, and at that point, a argument ensued.
between those two?
Those three, he got involved also, but the friend was the one who attempted to pay. But the victim,
What was the victim's relationship to this?
just a friend. They were friends.
So the victim was charging stuff.
They were both charging things, but the friend was the one who attempted to pay. But the victim, he was the one who
He was a friend of the victim. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Two guys
Two guys.
in the bar, one tried to pay.
Well, I mean,
The friend
Oh, I'm
tried to
sorry.
pay and his credit card was declined.
Right,
it was two cards were declined, right?
Yes.
yeah.
So what you're selling everybody is they try to walk on the bill.
That's
I
not what he
couldn't
s-
say.
That's not what he
What he said.
testified.
Well, they didn't pay the bill. The argument was over the bill.
Yes, it was over the bill.
Okay. I mean, wasn't there either, so I'm trying to piece it together like you are.
Okay.
All right, so we know two credit cards were no good, and they were arguing over the payment, and that's what started the argument.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, what other, if you know, what other employees were involved in this other than Mr. Reyes?
I believe
He's not an employee, is he?
Mr. Reyes is an employee. The perpetrator is an employee.
Ah,
The alleged perpetrator is an employee.
okay.
So
What other employees were involved?
I believe Mr. Benny Palmer is employee, but I don't remember his role in the. I do remember his role in this, and I don't know his Yes, I don't know his title.
Did you speak to Mr. Palmer?
No, we did not.
What makes you think that he may have been an employee?
Just my recollection from the incident.
Ask, was he an employee?
You didn't ask him, so you didn't talk to him.
I didn't speak with him.
That's what I thought.
But,
But
go ahead.
is Mr. Palmer an employee? I asked your.
It's up to
Well,
them- it's up to them to
have
prove.
to ask them. But let me get this straight.
He threw the knife in the.
You saw Mr. Palmer get the knife from Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you saw Mr. Palmer put the knife in the trash can?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Now, did Mr. Palmer leave the residence after he put it in the trash can, or did he stay? Do you know?
He left.
He left?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
And then when you looked at the film, they said there's the can where the knife is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got the can and a knife. Looks like the cat in the hat.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
I don't,
I was summoned. I was just in district court. My trial just ended. I came right here.
okay,
He could
well,
be sworn in?
you need to be sworn in and identify yourself, because,
I need a second to catch up because I don't know what's going on.
okay,
And just
neither do I.
blow through that part of the transfer. Yes. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You state your name and spell it, please.
Officer Michael John Rocks Jr. Officer Rocks is R-O-C-K-S. I'm assigned to the Central District Patrol.
Michael
John
Rocks.
Rocks, yes, sir.
Now, Officer Rocks, what, if anything, can you add to the testimony that's already been offered? If you've heard it, I don't know how much you've heard, or,
I came in towards the end of the
okay.
statement.
Well, tell us where you came in to this incident at the Red Room. Tell us your involvement.
Yes, sir. I was on routine patrol, and we heard a call come out for an aggravated assault on the block. I was in Sector 3 at the time. I responded from Sector 3 down to Sector 1 to assist the officers. Upon arrival, I helped cordon off the area, and I started doing the crime scene log. Crime scene log is writing down people, any officer, crime scene tech, anybody would come into the crime scene, and it's logged and given to the detective.
All right.
While I was doing that, the detectives and the primary officer in the Red Room doing their investigation, all that. A little while into it, Detective Jordan came out of the Red Room, looked at me, said, "Rox, I need you to come with me. Go around to the back of the parking lot. She goes, the suspect should be in a car. I'm like, there's a guy in the car down there. We go. She identifies him as the suspect. Knock on the window. He's unconscious. Knock on the window, knock on the window. We're probably knocking on the window a good 2 minutes. Eventually he comes to. He opens the door. We extract him out of the vehicle, place him in custody. Search incident to arrest. We recovered CDS office person. Without having the case folder in front of me, I can't say exactly what it was. It's been a little bit of time. But we recovered several narcotics off him.
Now, this officer's testimony was that he then subsequently came to where you were and identified this person as the person who was responsible for the stabbing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Because I believe him and Detective Jordan were both watching the video.
Okay.
But I was outside of the business. I wasn't inside the business.
Got it. Okay, so basically you're the one that initially got Mr. Reyes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
And what do you mean by he was unconscious? Was he intoxicated?
He
or?
seemed to be under the influence of a drug. And we usually refer to it as a nod. He was just unconscious. When we woke him up, he seemed like he didn't know where he was. And like I said, we also recovered several drugs off of him.
Questions, Mr. Kudensky?
From the time that, you don't know what time you arrived at the scene.
It would have been on the crime scene log, sir. It's been a little while since the incident. I can't give you an exact time.
And then you spent some time at you said you never went into the Red Room
I believe I went in after the fact, after we placed Mr. Reyes in the custody.
prior to that.
Prior to that, I don't believe so.
You said you were securing the outside.
Yes, sir. Normal with crime scenes like this, especially with the crime scene out, we had the crime scene inside, we had the crime scene outside. To secure the crime scene, we cordon off the area, prevent any kind of foot traffic to bring any kind of damage or contaminate our crime scene.
All right. And then after that, some time, how much longer after that before somebody said, Rox, you got to go with me?
Detective Jordan, I can't say. It might have been maybe a half an hour, but at this time I'm guessing on a time.
So you would have been there 10, 15 minutes, cordon off the crime scene. Detective Jordan came out maybe, I'm not saying about that time, and said, you got to go with me. We think we know where the guy is. He walked down to the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
So that was like 45 minutes later after you first got there and you saw the individual in the car.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You had never seen him in the establishment at all?
No, sir. I responded as a backup.
Okay, I got it. No problem. I'm no fan.
He was the person you saw on the video.
Yes, sir.
Detective or officer, do you know what position Mr. Reyes was, what role he had at the establishment?
I believe he was what they refer to as a bouncer.
Questions?
Well, we refer to them as security people, but you call them bouncers.
It's a common term, sir.
All right.
Okay, security person, bouncer. Case in chief.
I don't have anything further than make a motion.
Denied.
At this point, depending on your decision, everything I have is basically mitigation. First of all, I would say that now that the evidence is over, the two rules are basically the same rule.
One is for the adult entertainment, the other one's for the liquor board. 2 licenses.
Yeah, but the one, there's nothing about the adult entertainment here that even surfaced in this situation.
They're charged with a violation of Rule 14, adult preventing nuisances. So, I don't know about you, Mr. Konensky, but I think somebody getting stabbed in a bar qualifies as a nuisance.
Well, or isolated incidents. You know, somebody get punched out at a Raven game is an isolated instance. If they get punched out every game, it's a different story.
You know what? We don't have a Ravens game here.
Well,
we have this case.
I got it.
And we have the testimony of the police officers.
But you got
And I find, as a matter of law, that the testimony from the 2 officers meets the requirement for the violation of Rule 14 and violation of 3.12 public welfare.
And I agree with that finding.
I agree also.
So now we'll hear mitigation.
Well, basically, the licensee's been there about 10 years. If you look at the record, there wasn't anything since 2010, which is a little bit unusual with regard to an adult entertainment venue. In this particular instance, they never open on Thanksgiving. Never. Some of the employees said, let's open on Thanksgiving. Normally, they have 2 off-duty police officers that work there, security. On this day, this other fellow just filled in, this
Other fellow being Mr.
Reyes filled in, and this happened. But other than that, they probably have more security there than anybody on the block. They have 2 off-duty police officers there working almost all the time. It's not a kind of place where, this type of situation happens. Apparently, there was an argument over the 2 individuals were trying to stiff them on a bill, and we're trying to walk, and Mr. Reyes stopped them, and they got a little heated.
Mr. Koninsky, there isn't any testimony that they tried to walk on the bill. There's testimony that there was an argument about the bill. I don't recall any testimony that they tried to walk out without paying at all before the gentleman was stabbed.
Well, he testified they tried 2 credit cards.
Right, and neither one of them worked.
Right, and they didn't pay
There was an
them.
argument, and there was a stabbing.
Right.
There was no testimony that the other 2 people tried to walk out without paying.
Well, they didn't pay him either. There's no testimony that they paid him either.
That was after the guy got stabbed, and he's laying on the
No,
ground.
no, he was upstairs. They found him, not downstairs.
Okay.
He made it the upstairs. There was 2 of them.
Okay.
So, I mean, nobody had seen no testimony here other than when I talked with the police officer, and he was pretty candid about the whole thing. And I think in the case here, that the argument is that, this is not, it was an isolated instance with people who normally don't work on Thanksgiving, and this incident happened. But other than that, their records when they come in are correct. They have 2 off-duty police officers working there, and the individual is not a new licensee. He's been there for the last 10 years.
Question, what about Mr. Palmer? Who is he and how often does he work?
I don't know. What does he do? You can.
Oh, he
Yeah, you
hasn't
can-
been-
They haven't
oh,
been
yeah, they've
sworn?
been sworn in.
Wait, oh, they have? Okay.
They have been sworn in.
Yeah, but I don't know his name.
Put the mic,
No, no, no.
mic. Get a mic.
I can't take notes to everybody talking and get the name at the same time. So Stephen what?
Kugel, Kougl.
Thank you.
What's your position?
Answer the
Mr.
question. Mr. Palmer is the cleanup guy.
Okay,
He cleans up the bar at the end of the night.
okay.
Cole? And knives, too.
Well, and I have, that was a little, from what I heard from the story, also, it was a little different.
What do you mean a little different?
Everyone cooperated with the police. Detective Jordan, Benny Palmer told her where the knife was. And that's when they went and found the knife in the trash can.
Okay.
And what does it mean that Mr. Reyes wasn't supposed to work there or he doesn't work
We
there
were
that
supposed to
often?
close that night. It so happened that the manager got a crew together to open up, which,
Whose decision was that?
that was his. He was fired. In fact, everyone there that night was fired.
So the owner of the establishment didn't know what was going on.
Well, the owner, yes, he did. The owner knew it was supposed to be closed.
And somebody opened it up without the owner's knowledge.
Well, it was up in the air about opening, if he could get enough people to work, and what he did was he threw a crew together and opened up.
Who is on the license?
Right here.
Okay. Did you know that they were opening up the,
I did not know they were opening it up because we normally don't open up.
I'm out. He's gonna want her name.
She's the licensee, so I do have her
Okay.
name.
Yes, we normally don't open up on Thanksgiving Day at all. So we were supposed to be closed. Him being in charge as the lead bartender and manager, he made the last call totally on his own. He got together a few people, and the normal doorman that was supposed to be working that night, was off. So he called in Javier. to take his place.
And had Javier worked there before?
Yes, Javier worked there, but not on that night. That wasn't his scheduled night to work.
The establishment hired Javier before.
Yeah, he had been.
Did he do a background investigation on Mr.
He was
Javier?
recommended to us, and he's been coming in the bar for, I guess, years. Everyone knows him, and he was recommended, and he seemed like he was a pretty decent guy. We never had any problems out of him before.
That's non-responsive to the question.
Did anybody really
No, I
check?
didn't do a background check on him because he was recommended to us.
Is there a policy in your establishment to establish a credit card before you give service?
Is it a what? Excuse me?
Policy of your establishment to take the credit card, a lot of bars do this, run it through to see if it's a credit card.
No,
Or a
we
guy could run up
normally.
a $500 bill and no credit cards.
Right, no, we normally don't go through that process. We just take the identification of the person and the credit card normally.
What's the policy if you don't pay?
Policy, if he doesn't pay, to call the police normally, to bring the police
Why
in
wasn't
there.
that done?
That's the reason why the bartender manager got fired, because it wasn't in control. He didn't take control of the situation the way normally we have it done.
And I didn't catch what your role is at the establishment. Partner. You're not on the license, though? No. So you're part owner? Is that what you're saying?
Mr. Kadensky, anything else?
No, I would just, and there was no summons issued for the,
Did you issue it?
no, I requested, I don't have the authority to issue a summons. I tried that one time with the prior chairman, and I got all hell about it.
You can't issue summonses
No.
for your own hearing?
Cannot. They have to come from the board.
I don't know about that. Go ahead.
There was a previous incident where summonses were issued. We'll need some clarification from the board on how you would like those summonses to be issued in that case. I will seek some additional clarification.
I'm not sure, quite frankly, that the board is responsible to produce your witnesses. So that we'll have that discussion when we're done, that if you need witnesses from now on, because you've raised this argument before, if you want witnesses, you'll summon your own witnesses. This board is not going to have staff prepare the case for the licensee. Period.
Well, then let me just respond for the record. Then. Number one, I have no authority to issue a summons.
You
When
will
you-
after today,
Well,
because
then-
I'm telling you from here on out, you issue your own summons.
Well, then you'll have to give me the summons from the board signed by you as chairman to be served. 'Cause that's what we did, and they said you can't do that. And no, it's not. I'm here because you filed the case, not you personally. And number one, the most important witness you don't have. You don't have the guy that was stabbed. And you would think to yourself, anybody's an attorney here would say, that would be the first person I would say, tell me, so-and-so, what was the beef about? Tell me what it's about. Not that you deserve to give it, but tell me what it's about. How hard is it? You got his name, you got his address, you got everything else. You would be there. You didn't, and
You requested that he be summoned?
yes, I did.
Mr. Acquis said that needs to be from the attorney himself if he would like him summoned. The same response that you gave. So I did forward that on to Mr. Acquis.
But he's not the be-all and end-all.
I
I mean, when you issue summonses to the police officer,
Mr.
no, but I just for a point out, when you issue summonses, if I want a summons for a police officer, do I have to do it now? I just want to get straight what we're doing here. They get summonses from you.
But the board issues all the summonses for the police officers that are on the reports. We do issue all of those.
And they would issue summonses to whoever they thought was pertinent for the case.
Correct.
Okay?
Now, answer this question for me, if you don't mind. Why is it that the board needs a victim when we have credible evidence from a police officer who the person was?
And not only that, he watched the video.
Oh, and where is it? Where's the video?
All right,
We don't have it.
Answer
And we never have the video.
Well, answer the first question.
Well, because you have victimless crimes, when you can do a crime against somebody who's assaulted without the victim being there? I don't think so.
In a court of
No, but I mean, you still, there's the basic principles of fairness and justice and due process. That still applies to whoever it is. And when you know who it is, and it wasn't like it happened yesterday, that would be, now, the best evidence rule always says, have the person who was there when it happened.
Well, your clients have admitted, one, that Mr. Reyes worked there, one. Two, that an argument ensued. Three, that the person got stabbed, who was then identified by the police officers as the victim.
Right, and that person was stabbed by Mr. Reyes.
Well, but it would be nice
It would be nice.
to have them here and say,
Perfect
I was there, and what happens, I was getting beaten, and I start reaching for something, and the guy stabbed me. Just using it for, not that even, then he'd be defending himself. You saw the case in the paper today where the police said they shot the guy because he run down the alley and he was starting to pull a gun out, and they told him, right. Well, couldn't I ask him that question? I can't. Can't ask him the question. He's not here. That's the only thing I'm saying is, it seemed to me that you would at least be able to want to do that.
I'll defer to the commissioners, to the other two, before I make a decision.
What do you mean? On what?
On the
Everybody's
decision.
guilty?
Well,
No,
we've
we've already
already,
decided guilt.
we've already found it, so now it's the penalty phase.
When was the last violation, Madam Secretary?
The last violation, sustained violation was in 2010, the one that was last sustained.
5, 6 years ago, 5 years.
The information for 2014 has not been.
It's not the
isn't it?
first offense
No,
Well-
it's not the most recent offense.
under the licensee,
Right.
under the current licensee.
Mhm. But there was no finding.
But he didn't have a 3.12.
This is the owner of the bar is responsible, and the licensees are responsible. We give them a license to do business, and this is a tricky license in the first place, adult entertainment and liquor. I think they should be shut down for 3 to 4 days, plus a fine.
You can't, it's gotta be a specific number.
Okay, 4 days over a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Okay.
And Madam Secretary, this would be 500 per violation?
And $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, because the board's policy has been the fact that
3
you
years.
review the 3 to 5 year range, but the state law doesn't have a date in regards to if there's a violation when that occurred, but the board's policy has been the 3 years for, that you reset with the amount.
We have up to 3,000 is what you're saying.
Correct.
Find a fact here.
No, we did. We found the facts. We got that. 'Cause some,
I say 1,000 as well, so 500 each.
How about the closure?
Yeah, I agree with a closure, and I agree with the closure. We can discuss how many days. What concerns me here is that this was an employee of the establishment who engaged in an argument with the victim and then stabbed the victim. And, we have another employee involved somehow as well. And we have the officer's testimony that, some argument ensued and this was the response to the argument instead of calling the police if they were not going to pay. So I'm in agreement with closing it down.
Okay.
but for how many days?
Sure. What's your response?
So you're $1,000 closing them down.
Yeah.
You're $1,000 4 days. Okay, but you want Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Weekend, whole weekend.
Starting this weekend?
No, you can,
Because it wouldn't, an appeal would stay the imposition of the sentence. Okay?
that before with these licenses.
Right. Okay. $1,000 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 2.
That's fine with me.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
So is that 3 days or 4 days? Let me
4
make-
days.
4 days.
4 days,
Beginning,
beginning, well, just,
This weekend.
I suspect that you're gonna go off and file the appeal.
You always make me like the bad guy.
I'm just asking you.
I don't necessarily,
Talk to his client.
that's exactly right.
Well, today's Thursday.
Let's make it next week.
Yeah, make it next
And
week.
give me a,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of next weekend.
So beginning the 19th of
ma'am.
February.
Yes, ma'am. And in the event an appeal is not filed, they have 30 days to pay the fine. On the 31st day, under the new rules, if it's not paid, the license is removed.
except in February, we have 29.
All right, so on the 30th day.
30th
No,
day.
it's-
On the 31st day from today, the license will be removed
Moved
if
from the
fine's
premises.
not paid. Okay?
Both licenses will be.
Both licenses. Tell him not to, you're not allowed to talk when I'm talking.
This is gonna get appealed.
So let me, do you want me to read the findings in?
Go
Just
ahead.
Make sure. You got it?
Just in case.
Okay.
You got it? I want to make
What-
sure the record's clear.
Why don't you repeat the findings?
Okay. So then I have a guilty violation on Rule 14, and that with a $500 fine. And I have a guilty ruling on Rule 3.12, public nuisances, merging the fact that both of them will be a suspension of 4 days beginning February 19th, 2016, which is a Friday.
And in addition,
And they have 30 days to pay.
right, and in addition, the finding of fact was based on the testimony of the police officers that comported with the requirements under the two charges. Okay? Got it? Got it.
You have to get that from her.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Previs, are we ready? Which one are we ready on?
We're ready for the Green Turtle on Broadway.
Okay. which
Ms.
one-
Dennison did contact me. She forgot her ID and had to drive back home.
Okay, so which one are we going to do?
Green
718
Turtle.
South Broadway.
I'll do that one next.
Broadway, Green Turtle, okay.
Just give me 1 second, and I'll get my records together.
This is the,
Louis Birch and William Pacco. Okay, Louis Birch and William Pacco.
this is the sale to minors case.
Right. Pudu Pack, Inc. Illegal conduct.
Record here.
Illegal conduct. It's an illegal conduct.
Which one are we doing?
It's illegal conduct, but there was a sales to minor in the illegal conduct, so you're correct. It's an illegal conduct charge.
Okay, all right.
Based
Green-
on a sales to minor call, but I'll read that into the record. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Can I read into the record? Okay.
Go ahead.
So Louis Birch and William Pacco, Pudu Pack Inc. Trade name is Green Turtle at 718 South Broadway, a Class B beer, wine, and liquor. This is a violation of 416 illegal conduct on December 27, 2015. This is at approximately 12:07 a.m. Inspector Chris Mollis, Inspector Kranicolis, and Agent Foster responded to an establishment on a 311 complaint regarding sales to minors. While the investigators did not personally observe sales to minors, the investigators did observe one patron in a light green T-shirt exit the establishment with a bottle of beer. The patron crossed the street and continued consuming the open container on the sidewalk, off the licensed premises and on full view. That's our charge.
I would suspect, Mr. Previs, you want to have them testify.
Yes, there's
I know what you're
not a
going to say.
lot of dispute, but as
I
to
know-
the
I
base
know-
facts, yes.
I know what you're going to say.
Thank you. Peter Previs on behalf of the licensee. To my immediate right is Mr. William Pacco, one of the licensees and owner of the establishment.
Okay, let's have all three sworn. Just,
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Do.
who's going to go first?
Me.
Okay.
Mr. Foster. Inspector Foster.
Agent Mark Fossler, Baltimore City Liquor Board. On December, it started on December 26, 2015. We were conducting special investigations. This is the day after Christmas. During the course of our investigations, we received a 311 call that alleged that the license in question, Green Turtle, was having a college party and that they were allowing minors to consume alcohol. So we broke off the after we received that call, we broke off the investigation we were involved in, went down to Fells Point, and we began observing the establishment. Since there was 3 of us, we picked different vantage points and observed the establishment. During our observations, the area in the front of the establishment was crowded with individuals who were coming in and out of the establishment, some consuming alcohol. At that time, because of the number of people in there, we saw there were other individuals from other areas who were proceeding down the sidewalk that would merge with the crowd in front of the establishment, and they were carrying alcohol, and they were consuming alcohol in front of the establishment too, but we didn't violate them for that because they were, coming from other establishments. But the person in question walked out of the front door of the establishment. One patron, he was wearing a light green T-shirt. He exited the establishment, and he was carrying a bottle of beer. He crossed South Broadway with the open container. At that point, we were, I guess, not too discreet in observing him because we were taking pictures, and so at that point he put the bottle down and kicked it into the gutter under a car. So we continued our observations. That's essentially what we saw. We departed after about 40 minutes without further incident.
Cross, Mr. Previs.
Thank you. Agent Fossler, you and the other liquor inspectors obtained photographs that evening as well?
Yes, sir.
And have those photographs been provided to the liquor board?
Yes, sir.
And are you requesting that those photographs be admitted into evidence?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I concur with that. With regard to, so you saw other activity, but what you're focusing on for this charge is this one particular individual carrying a bottle of beer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you personally observed this gentleman?
Yes, sir.
And you observed him coming out of the front door of the premises?
Yes, sir.
And where was the bottle of beer? Was he?
He was carrying the bottle of beer at his side.
So it was down by his side in his right or left hand?
In his right hand.
Okay. So did you observe security at the front doors?
Yes, sir.
One at each door?
The one that I focused on was the one on as I'm facing the Green Turtle, the door to the left.
The main entrance?
Yes, sir.
Not the additional front entrance?
Yes, sir.
Which would be to your right? Okay, so there was a security staff there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and was he checking people coming in?
Some.
Some?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and was he checking people going out?
There was a crowd of people. I can't say that he checked everybody.
Okay, but he was, put it this way, did you observe him observing this young gentleman with a bottle?
No, sir.
He got by him? He walked by him without the security staff seeing that he had his bottle down by his side, is that correct?
He walked by him. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, did you observe the immediate interior of the premises?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is there a vestibule there?
Small area, yeah.
And is there a trash can? And there's additional staff on the interior of the front door as well, right?
I can't swear to that.
Okay, that's fine.
Counsel.
I have one other very important question. This is one of your photographs of the front?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what occurred right here? Just to
No.
the left of the front door?
No, I don't.
That's where I met my wife.
Okay.
1983.
Coming out of the Green Turtle?
Sitting at the front table. It was called Victor's back then.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Nice piece of
Now I remember.
In any event. Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
For the other two inspectors, do you have anything in addition to what Agent Fosler has testified to?
I do not.
No.
Thank you.
Agent Fosler,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
the bottle was kicked under a car,
Yes, sir.
and it was a bottle of beer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you go inside? How crowded was it inside? How many people?
It was fairly crowded inside, and I think actually the questions about what was going on inside, Inspector Christomalis was spent more time inside than I did.
And Mr. Chris Miles, did you card anyone inside?
I did not. It was very, very crowded at that time. We were in the midst of special investigations, and we went to the complaint because it came in. So we weren't focusing. I didn't see anything that stuck out. Oh, they're definitely a minor. Could there have been minors? That's not for me to say. Possibly, but we were there for the call because we were in the middle of other investigations.
But the call was for a college night.
And, Commissioner, I made a decision because there was no visible police presence. There was a lot of people on the street that night that I elected not to pursue that avenue right at that point because for safety reasons.
What safety?
Well, I didn't want to start something, possibly a fight or something when there was absolutely no police presence at all.
But there is a law against open containers on the street, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and you saw people walking down the street in front of the Green Turtle with containers of open alcoholic beverage.
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't that be a police action?
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't you have called police and say, get down here and start arresting people?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't?
I did not.
Okay.
Questions, Mr. Previs, in light of?
No questions in light of those questions.
May I make a statement?
I'm gonna.
Is he sworn in?
Yeah, he's sworn in.
Sir, that's a,
Right there.
sir, that's a common practice. Two, one, there's not a police presence there, which we've all saw on video from this past weekend that took place with the car hitting the pedestrian or the former employee of the establishment across the street. There's no police until closing time. And it's common practice for people to walk down the street carrying open containers of alcohol. I've got an Army Ranger that was working the door that night. I was there. I had another person working the other door. This individual evidently snuck this out to deceive us and was caught, by the inspectors. But the question to the inspector is that he didn't do anything, and did he bring an officer to, which would be a violation of
City law.
consuming alcohol in public. I witness it all the time, and
Do you call the police?
no, I don't.
Well, it's condoning the operation then. It's condoning the actions.
There are other licensees in that area that,
Well,
and I'm not here to talk about them. I'm here to talk about myself.
if you let alcohol out in the street and you condone it, you're putting the public at risk too.
But
Look what happened this week. Just look what happened
Right.
this week.
But your
don't know if they
question
were
to the
drunk or not.
inspector about walking down the street free with alcohol in front of the Green Turtle was that's public, a sidewalk. They're walking freely from any establishment, which the inspector.
Exactly right, but the gentleman in question left your bar, left the Green Turtle with a bottle of beer,
Right.
just like the rest of the establishments do. That's what you're saying.
Right, but it was, as the inspector witnessed, with the bottle to his side, was intentionally deceiving our staff of trying to sneak out the bottle.
Okay.
Just to finish up on that evening, Mr. Pacco, you were present that evening?
I was.
And you were on the interior by the front door?
I don't know where I was exactly at 12:07, but I'm throughout the premises.
Okay.
I've worked there. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary this year, and I am the full-time owner, manager. That's my first home, actually. My second home is my residence.
Okay. And you have a trash can by the front door?
We do.
By the vestibule?
Both entrances.
And are your security staff trained to monitor not only people coming in, but coming out?
Right, and if you need to smoke outside. So if people want to exit the premises to smoke, they have to leave their alcohol inside, and these men both are very good at that. And I feel that under this situation, this individual was deceiving, was trying to sneak the bottle out, and he got by the doorman.
How many people are at the door that night?
There were two.
The photograph might assist. There's a second auxiliary entrance just to the north of the main entrance. So there's a security staff at the main entrance. He's seated. You can't tell from this picture. But there's another, they expanded, and there's another bar area here. And there's
We got to go. We want color.
Okay, thank you.
And you, Inspector, you said it was a 311 call that brought you there?
Yes, sir.
And it was for college night?
Yes.
That's what the 311 call said?
That was the allegation.
And the question to you, do you advertise college night?
No, that was an assumption that it was a college night. It was it was a back-to-school event that one particular night, but I do not have a college night.
That would imply college night. I
Yeah,
hope.
but it's not an advertised promotion.
But you said it was a back-to-school event. How was that advertised? It would just.
Well, I think you asked the inspector if that was I assumed it was an advertised event. It was not. It was just something that was put together by.
Who? Do you have any idea who called?
We received an anonymous complaint
From the city.
from the 311 line and alleging a college promotion there and for sales to minors.
Sales to minors. And they didn't mention anything about alcohol on the street.
No, sir.
So if they would, you would expect them to dispatch the police, right?
Not unless the call went to the police.
Yeah, but 311 would say, no, wouldn't happen.
Go to us.
After 11 o'clock, the 311 complaints are put online, so it only goes to whatever agency they highlight.
Okay.
And to the vice unit.
Anything additional, Mr.?
No, I would like to be heard.
This is a sales to minor, right?
No, this is an illegal conduct.
Illegal conduct.
This is
okay.
a
It
violation
was not.
of
He was
4.16.
Was no sales tomorrow.
Yeah, I got it.
responded to an establishment.
Go ahead, Mr. Previs.
Thank you. The charged violation is, under the new rules, is now 4.16, but it's, as I can tell, identical to old rule 4.18, which reads, "A licensee may not commit or allow the commission on the licensed premises of an act that is contrary to any federal, state, or local statute, law, or ordinance, or that is against the public peace, safety, health, welfare, quiet, or morals." Someone walking on a public street, public sidewalk with an open container is a violation of the law. So therefore, it's both a violation of the state law and against the public safety, health, welfare. The issue is the beginning clause of that paragraph that says, "A licensee may not commit or allow the commission." Unlike old Rule 4.01, sales to minors, which has been deemed a strict liability offense, there is built into this rule a standard of culpability upon the licensee. Now, it's conceded that the inspector saw a young man leave with a bottle down by his side. The doorman was there, he was working, he did not see it. So the issue was, did he turn a blind eye? Was he negligent? Or is it something that got by him? If it's something that got by him, then he hasn't violated the rule. If he either watched it happen, he's clearly violated the rule. If it's something that he should have picked up, then perhaps he violated the rule, but the sanction would not be as bad as if he just stood there and let it happen. So, first part is, the testimony was the bottle was secreted down by the side. The inspectors were there watching. The doorman did not see it, not guilty. If the board determines that he is guilty, then I would ask in mitigation to take into consideration that the gentleman did secrete the bottle and the doorman did not see it.
Well, isn't there some expectation that people leaving various establishments would sneak alcohol out? Shouldn't there be some expectation there?
Oh, sure.
Right, so, I mean, I understand your interpretation, but I think there's some expectation that when, especially something that's advertised as potentially a back-to-school night or what have you, that people are gonna leave the establishment or sneak alcohol out. So I put the responsibility on the licensee or the employees of the establishment to be on even more of a lookout for things like that.
Okay.
See, here's where I'm struggling. 4.16 says a licensee may not commit or allow the commission on the licensed premises. You didn't address that, Mr. Priebus.
Yeah, the licensed premises ends
At the door.
at the front door.
Okay, so where's the violation?
So if the violation is,
Wait a minute.
yeah, I mean, that's another way to look at it.
I'm just asking.
Right. If the licensed premises ends at the front door and the violation occurs, the open container violation occurs when he's left the licensed premises.
No, but
Mr. Fossler wants to respond.
Well, there's also the outdoor table service, so I don't think that it ends right at the, if you have outdoor table service, and
he's got the licensed premises outside.
Right.
so,
It's a Class B with outdoor table service.
There
So
is an
so
outdoor
I don't-
table
so I
service
don't think
area.
As soon as
Front
the
door
person,
stops.
the front door stops right there. And I think there is an obligation of the person standing there, especially when it's a crowded area with younger, consumers there, to be on a lookout for people leaving the establishment with open containers.
So just this, in final word, commit or allow the commission. If the board is comfortable and confident that certainly the licensee didn't commit because the licensee didn't carry the open container, did they allow the commission? If he looked right at them, yes, they allowed it. If it was totally hidden in a sealed black box, they're clearly not guilty.
But that wasn't the case.
If it's hidden down by a side and there's a lot of people out there, that's the issue.
Agent Fossler, you saw him carrying the container
from across the street,
from across the street.
yes,
You saw him leave the establishment carrying the container from across the street.
yes, I did.
So it wasn't
It wasn't.
hidden.
It wasn't hidden.
You could see it.
Like I said, it was right here at his side, and I'm sure the other inspectors could testify to the same thing, but I could see it from across the street.
We don't need the other testimony. You want to do this one? Finding?
All yours.
I mean, based on the testimony of the inspectors, I make a finding that there is a violation under Rule 4.16 for illegal conduct. That's my ruling.
Okay.
I find a violation also.
So we go to, and I concur, we go to the sentencing phase. Madam Secretary?
Yes, sir.
This a first offense, second offense?
This is the second. There was a sales to minors in 2013.
For years.
But this isn't a sale to minor. But there was a sale to minor in 2013.
Yes, there was one in 2013.
I don't think this warrants a suspension.
I agree.
I would say $500.
I'll go with 500.
That's two, unanimous.
Well-
500, no suspension.
No suspension.
30 days.
Thank you,
okay?
sir.
So that's a total of 625.
Thank you so
On
much.
the new rule is,
Yes, sir.
if it's not all paid by the 31st day, one of the inspectors come out and picks up the license.
Right.
Okay?
Unless a stay is requested and granted.
Unless a stay, unless you file an appeal, which
Right.
is an automatic stay,
Thank
right?
you.
But he hasn't been suspended.
No. We don't intend to file an appeal.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Just tell me.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Prius.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wait 1 second, Pete.
Oh, Pete.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you will. Huh?
Ms. Dennison texted and said she forgot her ID and went back home to get it and said she would be here in 30 minutes, and that was about 20 minutes ago.
So, would you like to take a break?
Let's take a break.
Thank you.
When she gets here, we'll come back out, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Priebus. We're off the record.
Yep.
Leave everything here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave everything.
Okay, board, we're going to go back on the record. Oh, wait.
As
Commissioner.
soon as Miss Hafey's
Yeah.
ready, and Mr. Priebus is ready,
All right.
and I'm ready,
All right.
I think we're ready.
This is a continuation of the February 11th, 2016 Board of Liquor License Commissioners. We're in the violations section. The last item is Sierra Dennison and Vincent Griffin, GM Holdings. Trade name is Lust at 408 East Baltimore Street. It's an adult entertainment license and a Class BD7. There are 3 violations of the rules that all occurred on November 21st, 2015. The first one is Rule 414, Adult Entertainment Preventing Nuisances. The second one is Rule 312, Public Welfare, November 21st, 2015. And the last one is Rule 303, Records, on November 21st, 2015. These all occurred when Inspector Chrisomalis and the Baltimore City Police Department responded to the establishment for a physical altercation. Upon arrival, it was determined that the establishment staff was attempting to exit a patron, Mr. Ridley, who threw a bottle at the head of a dancer. The bottle struck the dancer, who had been taken to the hospital. Inspector Chrisomalis personally observed the establishment in a state of chaos. Dancers were aggressive, almost starting fights between each other, and dancers were being aggressive towards the police. That's for the preventing public nuisances and public welfare. The last part about it, at approximately 12:10 a.m., the City of Baltimore Police Department and Inspector Chrisomalis responded to the establishment. During that, they found that they lacked employee records for the security guard and the dancer who was injured by the bottle.
Thank you. Mr. Priebus?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Priebus on behalf of the licensee. With me today is Ms. Sierra Dennison. Ms. Dennison wants to apologize for being late, but she left her ID at home and had to
Had to
run
go
back
get it.
home, so
I understand.
she's here.
She's here. That's okay. You don't have to apologize.
Mr. Chairman, we don't dispute the facts. I'd like to be heard, but if the board wants to hear from Mr. Chrisomalis briefly, if they have any additional questions, I'd just like to be heard on it, but there's no dispute as to what occurred.
You agree, you stipulate to the allegations
Yes,
as read
sir.
into the record by the executive secretary, so.
Yes, we do.
Just for the record, as a matter of keeping the record clean, we find a violation of Rule 14, adult entertainment, violation 3.12, violation 3.13, records. 03, I'm sorry, thank you. And we'll hear from you in mitigation. And Mr. Chrisomalis, Inspector, we don't need to hear from you. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Dennison advises, that she was present that evening. A patron became unruly and was ejected by a security staff. when he resisted the security individual that originally initiated contact with the patron was removed from the scene, and other security went to remove the patron from the establishment. As the patron was leaving, he grabbed a beer bottle from the counter of the bar and he threw it at the security guard. He misses the security guard and he hits one of the ladies. At that point, the gentleman attempted to run out. The security yelled to the police officer, who happened to be right there on the sidewalk. He was apprehended and charged. Mr. Chrysomalis explains in his report that when he came in, that the dancers were frantic, and understandably so, I think. So in all honesty, there was no lack of anything going on in the bar. What occurred was that a lady got hit unexpectedly by a bottle, and the other ladies were extremely upset by that. With regard to the records, Ms. Dennison advises that both the one security individual and the lady that was hit by the bottle, that she did have records for that, and she's not 100% clear why they weren't with the rest of the records, but we don't dispute what Mr. Chrysomalis found in his search.
Okay.
So I'm requesting that this not be a suspension situation. This was not a case where the staff of the premises engaged in some type of fight. They actually were doing their job quite well, but this individual went way overboard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Was the individual drunk? Inebriated?
She hasn't been sworn in yet, so we'd have to have her sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Sierra Dennison, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And Mr. Trotter has asked you if the person was drunk.
He was a little intoxicated, but he was just acting for no reason. Just showing off for his friends, I guess. I don't...
And that's when you asked him to, with the
Yeah,
security
he was
asked?
acting rowdy.
He was acting rowdy.
And that's when they asked him.
Was he doing things inappropriate to the dancers?
Just being rude comments and stuff like that. We get guys like that sometimes.
And he's been charged, right?
My understanding.
He was arrested.
The police
that
arrested
night.
him right there.
I think
And
so.
first-degree assault?
Mm-hmm.
What's just a bad person there?
What's this issue about the dancers were openly cursing and attempting to instigate physical altercations toward the police officers?
Once the one girl got hit, a whole bunch of other girls just got mad. They wanted to go after a guy, but cops came in.
And he attacked a police officer?
No, I don't know about. I wasn't up there for that part.
What you said they wanted to go after a guy, one of the guys
The
that
guy
the
who
guy
threw
was
the
through it
bottle.
with.
Right.
You know,
They were just everybody just went crazy.
they were
after that.
taken up for their friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was just so unexpected, and everybody just went crazy. All the girls.
And this was at near closing time, so the
Yeah.
place closed at that point,
Yeah, we
right?
closed it down.
Okay, I found, as a matter of fact, that the charges were sustained. And I will state this for the record, that I don't think this warrants a suspension, but probably a fine. But it's up to the other commissioners. It takes two to tango.
The problem is they came before us in October. Madam Secretary, what was the offense in October?
October was an issue in regarding their trader's license. It was a violation of 4.18, and thus we did the Code 9 violation. And then you have some information from 2014 as well in regards to a suspension.
But the trader's license, didn't we say that if they brought it in, that was abated? And then they brought it in?
They paid the fee. It was just a fine, and they
Right.
took care of it. I think the other issue is that if you asked in the last 5, there was an issue in 2014, and that's the only other thing that I would ask to consider.
That was what?
In 2014, there was an issue in regards to a suspension in 2014.
What was the violation for 302?
There were several violations in regards to the 2014 hearing, and that's the only where the board unanimously, at the end, it's basically the board unanimously voted to suspend the license for the entire month of April, beginning April 1st. There was a bunch of charges that they
But
found.
one of the charges were employee records?
Yeah, it looks like employee records, some Article 2B things. There was also entertainment, there was a bunch of rules, 4.17, which is, I believe, sales too. I have to pull out my old rules, but there were several,
Yeah, I have all the rules here.
several charges that were sustained by the board in 2014.
5,000.
That's the, I just wanted to just.
I'm
to bring
talking
attention
about,
to.
yeah, I understand. In terms of these offenses, I don't think they rise to the level of suspension. That's my opinion, but if the other two say, I think it warrants a fine, but I obviously will defer to the other two. Because I'm talking about this incident.
And just one more time, there were no other than the dancer, there were no other employees involved in the incident.
It was actually the security guard who asked the gentleman to leave. The patron got additionally rowdy with that security guard. The other security guards removed the initial security guard to try to dispel the situation. They escorted him out, and in the process, he grabs a bottle, tries to hit the first security guard, misses him, and hits the dancer. At that point, the other dancers went frantic.
Right.
Right, I understand that.
I understand after that incident, the other dancers were involved.
I'm waiting.
I have mine. It's an employee, it's very little to do about the security situation. The person gets rowdy and you get him to vacate the property and he turns violent on you. Most probably should have stopped serving him before that time, but the violation of the records, I would fine him $1,000 for. It's the second violation of 3 years.
What about the other two?
What about the other two?
I don't really find him guilty of the violation of public welfare.
And what about adult entertainment? Nuisance, preventing a nuisance.
I would find him guilty on that.
Okay.
That's just mine.
Safety.
I find them guilty on all three.
And?
I agree with the 1,000 for the records and 600 for the other two each.
Each?
Each, yes.
Well, you didn't
Give a fine.
agree, you didn't agree to a fine yet.
No, I've agreed to a fine of $1,000 for the records. I would agree with you, Ms. Hafey, Commissioner Hafey. 600 each.
600 each, so that's $2,200 plus the hearing fee
30 days.
with no suspension.
No suspension.
No suspension.
30 days to pay, Mr. Previs, on the 31st day. Now, last time we were here, they didn't show up because we weren't sure if they were served or not.
Right.
They were served,
They-
okay? They were served.
I wasn't contacted.
Okay. Now, I'm just saying, Ms. Dennison, the new rule is, if the fine is not paid by the 31st day, you will lose your license. So you've got 30 days to pay it, okay? All right. Okay, Mr. Priebus?
Understood. Thank you very much.
So that's a total of 2325 by March 13th.
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wait.
That's it? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Talk to you later. I'm back. I'll tell you something.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good one.